Number two, let's get one thing straight. Dave said, I'm the only public safety candidate. Dave, I'm sorry. I'm going to take no lectures from you about public safety when you are voting for and supporting a convicted felon for president, who, by the way, is also a convicted sexual abuser. In that race for president, I support a prosecutor. You support a convicted felon. So you have no standing to say you are somehow the only public safety candidate. And let's be perfectly clear. I spent my time as Attorney General working with prosecutors across the state. When they cannot charge those cases, some endorse him, some endorse me, but they're united in bringing me the toughest cases, the murders, the attempted murders, so we can prosecute those cases.
Mr. Reichert, you'd like to respond to that?
Yes, sir.
And candidates do pivot during a campaign. They bring up new issues. You bringing up some issues that you've talked about differently when you were in Congress. What's your response to Mr. Ferguson here?
Well, first of all, I think I've worked at probably the most serious serial murder case in the country of this, in the history of this country. I think most people are aware of that. Secondly, I am the only public safety candidate in this race because I understand police officers. I was one. Just to address this is not a money issue as it relates to police departments and sheriff's offices across the state. This is an issue about trust for cops. And let me just, and I can explain that later as we go through the debate, but let me just also say, I hate to disappoint you, Bob, but I am not supporting Mr. Trump in that announcement tonight. I'm also not supporting Mrs. Harris.
And that is time. Gentlemen, we're going to move on.
Can I respond to that? I'm sorry, please. I mean, Donald Trump, he's telling you, the people of Washington State, he's telling you that he doesn't support Donald Trump any longer. You reported this, Jim. You spoke to a group of Republican Party activists, and you said you are supporting Donald Trump. Specifically, what you did
was not true. That is not true, Mr. Ferguson.
I'll take my time back.
His campaign is built on lies.
Gentlemen, we're going to have
so Congressman, that may be
you
okay.
got to tell the truth, Mr. Ferguson.
We're
I'm going to interrupt you every time you lie.
We're going to move on.
You've got to tell the
truth.
truth.
Be clear, I'm not going to interrupt. I can lose my time.
Every statement that you've made, every ad that you've had on TV,
Gentlemen, I'm going to have to just reinforce the rules. You've agreed not to ask each other direct questions. We're going to ask you to not interrupt one another respectfully. I am going to give Mr. Ferguson 15 seconds and Mr. Reichert 15 seconds. Then we will move on to the next topic. Mr. Ferguson.
Dave, you may think interrupting people is okay back in Washington, D.C. where you served. It's not okay here. I will not let you do it. Number two, it's been reported in the Seattle Times when you were asked about Trump. You said, if I say I'm supporting Trump, I'll be in trouble politically. What's my head doing? And you were nodding, and your own supporters acknowledge that, as was reported in the Seattle Times. So the idea is you're going to come here.
Mr. Ferguson, you are obsessed with Donald Trump. I am not obsessed with Donald Trump. Please move off of Donald Trump and stop your obsession with Donald Trump. And if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen.
Gentlemen, with that, we are going to move on to the next topic.
I'm sorry. It's going to be a long night if he keeps interrupting me and keeps trying to add more time. I'm just saying you need to enforce the rules.
Hey, I took my time, Mr. Ferguson, and now you've added extra time.
On behalf of our viewers who really want us to cover as many topics as possible,
I appreciate that.
So that they can decide how they're going to vote in the fall.
He keeps interrupting me. I'm respecting your rules. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you that you enforce them with Mr. Reichert.
Interrupt me as the moderator. I am going to move on to the next topic, gentlemen, respectfully.